which we've gone to here. The authority of the people has done this. You've taken it back under control, you've said to them it's unacceptable and it's unlawful, and you've now got a company like Rosendale's have backed off immediately. They're not proceeding with it. Now, they're not going to write that off if what we're doing is not correct. It says if they have a leg to stand on, they would enforce it, take away your house, do everything. But they've dropped it immediately and backed off. So that is the authority of the people. That is also the power of a common law court. The common law court is for the people, and basically is tackling individuals who are held accountable in their private and personal capacity. Individuals here can no longer be protected by the state. And in a parking shop, what I'd like to do just now is point out something. We say that, yeah, okay, this is fine, but it's a slow process, and this is obviously, people have to understand how it works. So people have the authority to stand together. A simple thing like recording your birth is simple, it costs nothing, but with that, it increases numbers. It increases the validity of the court and the standing. Now, we have people here, obviously, one at a time when you say, no, it's unacceptable. So you tell me, if you have an individual who's working for the state, this individual is, first of all, could be incompetent, he could be negligent, or they could be criminal with what they've done. Now, if they have done something there between these three behaviours, and they have, and somehow, they've actually caused you harm, loss or injury, should they be allowed to continue in their job? Well, if somebody caused me harm, loss or injury, and they're doing the job and they're incompetent, negligent or criminal, no, they shouldn't be in their job. So that's the first thing. Now, if that's the case and they moan about it, what do the state do? Well, nothing, they protect them, or her. And if you cause a big enough stink, will they do anything? Well, yes, they might actually take him and move him away. So they take him out of the position, but what do? They give him a huge payoff, and they give him a pension. And the individuals that are suffering get nothing. And then a few months later, they'll probably get re-employed in a consultant's position. So it basically says it doesn't work that way. The state do not hold them accountable. Under common law, everyone is held accountable. So therefore, it doesn't matter who you are, whether it be a local council employee, whether it be a member of the public, a neighbour, whether it be a court official, whether it be a council employee, it could be anyone. Children's services, it could be a police officer. It could be a judge. Right? If they are negligent and they're not doing what they're paid to do, and obviously they can't justify or defend what they're doing, they should be held accountable. Under the statutory system, they're not. Under common law, they are. So therefore, which one would you prefer to use? So literally, that's all about there. We're going about state control now. State control, this is when we deal with this. We're going about politicians. Politicians, believe it or not, are actually not there to represent their interests. How many times do you go to a politician and say, look, I have a problem, I need help with this, and basically what you'll do is the politician will see you, deal with you for X amount of months, right away until letters, you don't achieve anything. So that's it. Politicians are basically not there to protect you. They actually don't have any power. So you actually put them in to do a job, you vote them in, you give them consent, but they do nothing. They're actually working for vested interests. They work for the government, they work for big business, they work for the banks, they've got various other people deal with them. That's the way it works. It's all money. They don't have any control. You've got all these lobbyists and everything. The politicians work for these people. If you turn around and hold them accountable and say, look, hold on a minute, I need to deal with this issue, and you go, they'll write a few letters, they'll tell you to go away, we can't sort it, we'll go to an ombudsman, and it's washed away. Nothing ever happens. So they don't actually do what they're supposed to be doing, or not what's on the card. It's basically, it's all that sort of mirrors is set up to con the people, to believe, let you believe that you have control. We then cover things like the police, the statutory courts, councils, the clergy, the mainstream media. Well, the police and the courts, again, all these things are registered companies. But the police now has changed the format because you have the police officers now. It's all money. It's not actually a law. You don't get the bobby and the beat. He says basically it's all criminal. He says it's for money, it's companies, it's corporations. It's nothing to do with the law. It's all business. It's all legalese. And they trick you into the system. Similar with the statutory courts, when you go in there, if you give the information they require, they have you in the system. They've taken jurisdiction, they've basically done that without you knowing, and they've got you. They can do whatever they want, unless you establish your position in the common law. Councils, similar. Councils, again, corporate businesses, but when you deal with these, they're not actually there to try and assist people, they're not there to try and help you and make sure that everything they get money for in public facilities, money spent there, they take this money, huge chunks of it, and put it offshore in fancy funds, this is investments away, but they should be spending money on the things that matter, public utilities, the roads, NHS, things like that. They don't do that. Is they basically invest it, they've got huge pension pots, they look after the people at the top of the food chain, so to speak. The clergy, believe it or not, another one, the clergy says, no, we're not referring to the church as such, but again, you look at the clergy, the individuals there, you've got, the last time, I think there's about a couple of hundred involved in parliamentary level, so they're actually involved with the government, and they're partly involved in creating the law. But these people have never been put into office. The people never wanted that, but these people have a huge say in what happens in your life because of the tie-in with Parliament. But the people are not told about this. And again, the mainstream media. When you deal with mainstream media, it says everything is geared towards covering things up. It's funny, it's interesting. The one thing that I just want, before we move on, the one thing that's very simple to think about. If you have in the world, in world events, you've got news everywhere, right? Things happening everywhere, all over the world. Yet, if you go on and you look at 3 or 4 main channels, and you look at the news, every one of the channels will virtually have identical news. Everyone. So basically, that's what they want people to know. So the fact that children are dying abroad, or there's another event happening, which is relevant, people are not being told about it because the government want you to know what they've allowed you to know or understand. They don't give you the information, they basically feed you information, and they basically try to drum in you, coach you, get you into the system, and they basically filter everything towards you. As long as everyone's involved, should I mention it? Being Scots, I don't know, should I? I see the flags are still up at me for the World Cup. It's a dodgy subject, which we never qualified. So, but I have to consider this is England got there, which is fine, that's okay. Anyway, I says, you look at the World Cup, things like that. So basically, because England know well with the World Cup, you basically got everyone having parties, great. So loads and loads of information about that. Now being a Scotsman, that never went down well. But obviously, so we've seen the parties and we've seen the people enjoying themselves. But while that's all relevant and it's nice, what's happening abroad? People are being bombed, killed, politicians are corrupt, people are dying, people are being stolen, the banks are failing, everything's happening abroad. And a huge segment in the news is to do with people having street parties because England's running the World Cup. Well, that's fine, that's okay, I don't mind that. We don't see it in Scotland if the Scots ever get to the finals, but on that point, he says, when people do this, the media are focusing in to give you information. So they're feeding you this, between that and the soap operas and various other things, people are then routinely going home after a hard day's life, they come back and say, right, put the theatre or watch something crap, which is fed by the media, the mainstream. That's the way it is. So they cover up everything and they're not letting you know what goes on. So it's part of indoctrination. They get this information out there, they're feeding you what they want. It's a state system and they're not actually telling you what's going on. They don't tell you simple things like you mentioned words earlier on. This is obviously with criminality and treason and things like that. Treason's a good one. You think about treason, well, politicians, priests and various individuals are currently committing treason. It's not in dispute, it's actually a fact. Now, you say, well, how can they commit treason? You say, well, treason, that's yonks ago, that's basically castles and knights and hundreds of years. No, it's not. I says, you look at these crimes, I says, the various crimes, they're all still relevant just now, including treason. These politicians, police and various people are guilty of treason. Now, nothing's happening to them, because nobody will ever do anything about it. There was another group earlier on, this is which happened, now again this is, I agree with what they're doing, he says people in Cameroon because of the Magna Carta, after Article 61, he says when there was an opportunity and because of the failings in the Crown and basically what happened with the government, there was an opportunity under Article 61 to rebel and say no, we disagree with that. So people stood by Barons at the time and say, look, we're serving a petition, this is what we're doing, this is wrong, and we put this forward. They were guilty of treason, we're holding them accountable, and we will rebel. However, it didn't make any difference, because they said, well, so what, I understand. But the thing is, they can't get away with this. People are committing crimes. Now, these authorities and individuals have to be held accountable. Because the people do not realise the power they have, they're not held accountable. And they're allowed to continue with doing what they're doing. People are losing homes. People are losing children, people are losing jobs. They're being made bankrupt, they're being fined, as is they're suffering everywhere. Right? Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's unacceptable. So if that is happening, why are these individuals not held accountable? They work for you. You are the Commonwealth Court. You're the people. If they do this to you, is it acceptable for them to do this? If you think that this is acceptable, fine, I don't have a problem with it. You're entitled to your opinion, great. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody's attacking people in general, in my family or friends, they should be held accountable for their actions. Especially when it's to protect vested interests of big business and companies and to line their own pockets. They shouldn't get away with it. But they have been up until now. But this is changing. So basically, listen, if you take this just now, you have the rights here, claim common law jurisdiction. You're not doing anything, you're not changing your everyday life. You're actually giving you a defence. You live by the basic principles. Now, unlike the statutory system is wonderful, it's great, because every time they need money, they just create a new law. Well, it's not a law, it's a rule. They said that they create a new rule. So, right, okay, well, we haven't got enough money, what can we charge for now? Right, okay, we'll charge for this, that, and other. But because we're going to charge, we need somebody to collect it. So what we'll do is we'll give somebody we know, we'll create a job, and we'll give them money, and they can get part of the money, but they'll then go and collect it for us, and we'll get more. So basically, this is how they work. Now, this basic principles, when we go back and we look at things like behaving honourably, right? Under common law, it comes down to basic principles, right? You live together. Now, things like dividing countries, although the fact it separates the areas and it then allows you to enter football teams into various tournaments, which we don't want about, which we will get there, literally what happens is the states are set up, or different communities are isolated because of the statutory system. They're creating problems. They create issues in relation to wars, things like that. They feed you with false documentation, false paperwork to justify what they're doing. The whole thing's criminal. He says, now at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, it says who you are, everyone has a right to live. It says lawfully and obviously not to be attacked. The basic principles with common law: cause no harm, cause no loss, cause no injury. And again, if you're involved in contractual dealings, be honourable. That's it, in a nutshell. That's common law. If you live by these simple rules, that's it. If you don't comply with these rules, you will be held accountable. Okay? So again, you have to think about what you're doing just now. You have the power, you have the authority. This is, think about the behaviour of the state and think now you can hold them accountable. We'll cover that in the next session of later on when we're discussing what's going on. But basically, everyone has a right to live freely, and also, if you're actually being targeted or someone's coming after you, you have the right to be judged by your peers, not by a corporation, not by a company, not by one judge or even magistrates. Their company employees, corporate employees, they have no jurisdiction over you under common law. So this is what it's about now. It's a bit lengthy just now, but this is giving you a basic introduction just now to the common law court and probably more so about the existing system, how it operates. What I'd like to do is give everyone a break for 10 minutes or so, but before you get up just now, does anyone have any questions just now? I'd like to come down. If you've got a question, you can pass it mic to you so everyone can hear what's going on. I can take one or two questions just now, we'll have a break for 10 minutes or so. Okay? Gentlemen, the first one here, gentlemen here.
Birth certificate. If I ask anybody, have you got a birth certificate, they'll say yes. If I say your name on it, they'll say yes.
Hello? Yeah, sorry,
Yes, so if I ask anybody, is your name on that birth certificate? Most people say yes. What I found is really that's a presumption in the law. Because if you look at your birth certificate, check them out when you get home, you'll find there's columns on your birth certificate. And there'll be your first names or Christian names, and then there'll be your father's surname, and your mother's maiden name or surname or whatever. Nowhere on there will it say you are Fred Bloss. So that's an assumption straight away, which means there is no validity anyway. I know on the current, your children, they've started to put one notice, the full name, the first, middle, and so that's a bit of a limit. That's older ones, you'll find you are just Christian name, not called like Bobby, by little Gavin.
Yeah, sorry, just to confirm just now, the state over the years have used various processes. You'll find, for example, when they use legal fiction or refer to someone as legal fiction, they tend to attach a title to it. The title may be Mr., Ms., Mrs., so they attach the title. What they used to do, as far as I'm aware, is they used to put your names on uppercase letters, block letters. However, myself included, people have started to question that. So what the state are actually doing now is they're now changing the format. So what they will do is they'll put capital J for John and then lowercase for the HN, capital S for Smith, and they'll change it. They then sometimes drop the title. So all the authorities will deal with you and they'll give you it, but when you go into one of their what do we call them, courts, statutory courts, places of business. When you go into places of business, right, they will refer to you and they'll attach the fiction to you. Now, they will use any format that suits them. So rather than having one structure so everyone knows what's going on, they'll try to confuse you. So they'll use uppercase, lowercase, they use middle names, they won't use middle names, they use fictions, they use titles, it doesn't matter. Because if you ask a statutory judge or sheriff in Scotland, it doesn't matter. Because anything that they want to attach to you, they attach. It's the legal fiction, and they can change it. In fact, they actually have their own rules, and rules, I'm saying rules, it is rules, it's not laws, but they actually have their own rules of conduct, but they don't actually comply with their own rules. So they deal with it until it doesn't suit them. And if you're going to get a remedy off them, they then just change the goalposts. Now this is the same with the legal fiction. So the document, it doesn't matter what's in the document, it doesn't matter with the terminology and the legalese, because they change anything to suit themselves. So the only way to address it is to say, hold on a minute, I'm not accepting any of that crap. The good thing is, what we've actually found out is, we've used certain things. Now, common law is about common law principles, right? When you use that, you tell me you're right. What we're going to do is, we're actually going to set up basic standards for operating with and certain rules, and that's the way it works. Now, having done that, people say, well, you can't use certain words. I thought, what do you mean? They said, well, you can't ask somebody to register their birth. I said, why not? Yeah, register, that doesn't exist, that's not right, that. Register means you're giving away ownership. I said, no, it doesn't. He says, yeah, it does. Register means, I said, hold on, forget all that crap. These words and the terminology are legalese. If you stand under common law, I don't give two shits about what they want. It says they have a word which means register. They say that means you're registering, you're giving ownership to the town. No, I'm not. I'm registering under common law. I'm making a declaration. I'm giving nothing away. I'm claiming ownership. I'm defending myself. No, that's registration. It's not registration. It doesn't apply. It's their system. You don't accept the meanings. So that's the way it works. Okay, sorry, are there any other questions?
How do you explain the power of Interpol over changing your birth certificate's name?
Well, it's like everything else which we've just actually covered. It says, in relation to the birth certificate and information that's on there, any statutory authorities can do what they want. So if they need to deal with a fiction, they choose to deal with it any way they want for their own purposes, for own vested interests. You have no, the government can do, you mentioned Interpol just now, the same applicable to the government. If we use a simple analogy, the government just now will write to you, when they write to you, they'll sometimes refer to you as Ms., Mrs., Mr. They'll give you a letter from another department, they won't give you a title. So they've changed your fiction. Now the same is applicable worldwide and with everyone else in the statutory system. They're not wanting people to understand what's going on, and they just change it to suit themselves. So it's applicable everywhere. So the only reason they're doing this is for their own purposes. That's the way it works. Okay? Any other questions?
Just a couple of things. How will you claim ownership of our cars? The second question, how will you choose to first question is how do we reclaim ownership of our cars? The second question is how do we jurisdiction
Well, again, it says like that, the questions were for people who didn't hear. The first one is how do you claim ownership of your cars? Cars, vehicles, automobiles. Literally, you have a car, you've purchased it. The existing system, the statutory system, means you have to send away the paperwork to the DVLA. The DVLA just now take ownership of your vehicle and they give you a registered keeper certificate. So basically it's theirs, they own it, and if you don't comply, they'll take it from you. Because they own it, they're allowed to. However, we have been approached by many people on the subject of cars, vehicles. And as I said just now, the website is being developed, it's going to be changing, there are additional categories going to be set up, one of which is to deal with the issue of vehicles, cars, ownership. Right? Now, what you've got to remember just now is the system is in place just now, but the people are not protected.